Hi, my loves. Happy Tuesday. I was like, what day of the week it is? Is it? Happy Tuesday. So, we are here with the TRIBEvibe meditation series, and this week we will be talking about self-care and wellness. My two favorite things. So, how's everybody's week been going? I hope you've been having a great week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, but Mondays usually are the days. So I hope that you guys have been having a good day or a good week. And also, as promised last week, because I couldn't find none of my stuff, I made sure that I brought you guys some merchandise to look at. So might as well go ahead and get it out the way. That way I ain't got to remember later. So these are a pair of our lovely sweatpants. Got the Love Black Amethyst logo on it. And then our book bag. I just love this print. Our book bag, and it's got the Love Black Amethyst logo on it too. So, just a little razzle dazzle. I showed you guys last week one of our canvas prints for our mother collection. I may add some more stuff to that because I kind of really just like that. It's just very plain and simple and to the point. Mother. But anyway. So just to keep my promises. So I made sure that I brought it on here today. I have more merch than that. That's what I brought in the room today. So maybe periodically I'll just show you guys a little something here, a little something there. So anyway, so let's get into it. Today, and before we do that, so we're going to do is say social media stuff. So if you haven't already, take your finger and click the share button. I'm clicking the share button myself. And then also, I want you to tag your accountability partner. I gotta look in now when I say that. Tag accountability partner. Because you know that every time we get on here, I tell you guys the same thing is I need you to tag your accountability partner because you need to have somebody to digest, process some of this stuff we're talking about. And in the name, you need somebody to hold yourself accountable. So we swear we can hold ourselves accountable. Sometimes it doesn't always work out how we think it's going to. So I'm holding you accountable to find an accountability partner so that you can make sure that you're living in your best wellness and self-care life by exercising some of the stuff we're talking about, and also by making sure that you have somebody to fully flesh out some things. So sometimes it's easier for other people to see things that's going on in your life than it is for you to see things, and we all know that's true. So anyway, okay, well, now that we got that out of the way, we are going to be talking today. So I'm looking to see if something is working, and it's not. It's not working. It's not working. Hold on, let me click this and see. Nope. Anyway, we're going to leave it alone. So today we're going to be talking about my personal journey to self-care and wellness, because sometimes I think that, we get on here and we get to talking and people are like, oh, she got all the answers figured out, or, oh, like, she probably didn't have no stress or didn't ever have any of the stuff that I'm going through before. And so now, it's easier for her. And granted, we all go through different things, and some things that may be more stressful to you may not have been stressful to me, vice versa. But honey, I didn't just pop out the womb and be like, Mother Earth. That's what my friends call me. My friends be calling me Mother Earth. I love them dearly for that, but they play too much. But I didn't pop out the womb like that. So, I just thought it would be a good time to share some of the journey that I went on so that you guys can, find it a little bit more relatable when we talking about stuff. So, let's see where to start. I guess I will probably start where usually people veer off, like you go one way or another way, right? And that's usually when you leave your parents' house. So if you go to college or if you're just going out on your own, usually when you leave from there, it's your opportunity to be greater, stay the same, or fall off the wagon. And typical true to form, actually, I didn't. When I graduated high school, I didn't leave my mom's house immediately. I went to a local college. It was like, I'll say 5 minutes down the street from my mom's house. So I did not have to live on campus. And I'm like, shoot, free rent, honey. I didn't pay. I didn't go decide like, oh yeah, I absolutely need to go get an apartment. So I stayed at my mom's house for a couple years. And then after that, I ended up moving to Terre Haute, which is when I got my own apartment, right? Honey, living my best life. And I would say I probably innately wasn't like, oh, I'm free now. All the boundaries are gone and I need to just do whatever. That's not really how I felt. I didn't have a whole lot of heavy stipulations on me as a child, so I wasn't like out there wilding, because you know, all of a sudden I didn't have parental guidance all the time to be able to be like, girl, quit that. So I didn't really like do too many crazy things. It is so funny because my friends and I, we drink now, but like in high school, we were not like the kids that skipped school all the time and was like drinking and sneaking into the club. Although I do have one friend, and for her birthday, I'm not sure why we went to the club. I don't know, because we were both really awkward and we was just like sitting in the corner. It was this old people's club, and like old men kept coming up to us, and it was just weird. I digress. But we didn't do a whole lot of that. So even like kind of when I got to college, like I said, I stayed at home for a while. A lot of my friends had already gone to ISU and Terre Haute. And so like, it wasn't just like, and I was a year ahead of them too. So it wasn't even like I graduated, we all graduated at the same time. We like, yeah, it was just, you know, a gradual transition into adult things and beverages and things of that nature. Right. And then the food, like I probably ate pretty similar. I maybe didn't cook like actually from scratch as much food as my mom did, but I ate pretty similar to how I ate like growing up, right? But as the person I am now, with the knowledge I am now, it wasn't like it was the healthiest food. So I ate a lot of frozen food, canned food, packaged, like processed, prepackaged stuff, fast food. We definitely, like my mom and I definitely ate a lot of fast food. And when I tell you, we drank a lot of pop. I don't know, are the pops at McDonald's still $1? But like that was kind of I remember when that first happened, and we used to just go get a pop all the time and just be drinking. Like when I got to college, I would say, I know for facts, if anybody ever came to my apartment, as soon as you walked in the door, I used to keep like the 12 packs, because I would go to Kroger and they would be like 3 for whatever, and I would get 3 or 6, and I would just keep them lined up with the cans of pop, and I would keep them in my refrigerator. And don't know how much water I was drinking, but I know I was drinking way too much. So, you know, fast food, pop, normal, heavy processed, not really caring about vegetables, eating a lot of meat. Oh my God, eating a lot of meat and a lot of cheese and the dairy. I used to love to eat cheese, and then also mayonnaise. Y'all don't judge me. I liked mayonnaise. And then if you know about mayonnaise, you know if you mix that mayonnaise and that ketchup and the mustard in the right ratio, honey mustard, we not gonna go there. Anyway, so I used to eat a lot of that stuff, right? And so, I mean, I was typical. I don't know. I definitely have always held sleep near and dear to my heart. So I wasn't one to really just like be like F sleep. But of course, finals and of course partying and things of that nature. So I probably wasn't getting the best sleep I could have. And as far as my mental health, honey, what? I mean, you know, it's like when you're that age, you feel invincible. You don't really have enough maturity and understanding of life to really think like, okay, some things need to be changed, or I could shift here, shift there. You just be like, you know, you're just out here in these streets operating. And so, yeah, like, I just typical, I think I would say. It wasn't anything too extreme, but very typical. In comparison to what I do now, it seems very extreme to me, but like, you know, overall, it's just probably a normal, like, you know, teenage American, not really caring, young person, not really caring about anything type of existence, right? And so that went on for years, honey. It wasn't like I got out there and something crazy happened and I was like, oh my God. I kid you not, I watched the documentary. You guys know when I'm on here, I'm always like trying to talk about like learning stuff and, you know, making sure you know the ins and outs of things. So when you're out here in these streets, you could talk about it and be about it, right? So I'm sitting at work watching the documentary like, yo, that's crazy. That makes sense. And I know that one of the biggest ones was Forks Over Knives, and the other one, Cowspiracy. Those were like two of the big ones. And I should have looked up the years those came out so I could tell you guys more specifically what year this was. But I know those are some of the big ones, but I had kind of already been edging up to that and like trying to change and eat more vegetables and less meat, you know, and eat more real food and less junk. I was already kind of starting to do that. I'm not sure about the pop, because the pop was just like a normal thing. I I'm not sure how much, like, I switched over from drinking pop to drinking water, but I was at least kind of in that wheelhouse, right? I had started toying with the idea, and then I watched those 2 documentaries, and they threw me down a rabbit hole, and I was like, oh fam, like, nope, and nope, because like I said, my friends call me Mother Earth because I really care about the planet. And I mean, I haven't really got on here talking to y'all about that because we be trying to do the inner work, but I mean, it don't take much of you talking to me about something before I'm like, why ain't you recycling that? Why don't you try to reuse that? Don't buy that packaging, don't do this, don't do that, turn off the lights, turn off the water, simple stuff, right? But because if we don't take care of the planet, then the planet isn't here to take care of us. And like, y'all see, it's like 195 degrees outside today. Like, if that isn't a representation of how we need to take care of the planet so it can take care of us, because I'm not trying to be outside at 195 degrees and then in the winter in negative 78. Okay, I don't want to go through all them changes. I already grew up in Indiana. If you know anything about Indiana weather, you know you go through some changes. I don't want to go through no more changes. Okay, I need it to level out. So, you know, watching those documentaries and talking about how much what we choose personally in individual, or like on an individual basis, to put in our mouths every day affects the planet. That plus the health stuff, oh honey, had me jacked up. So I was like, all right, we gonna work this out. So I know that I always tell people, I'm like, you know, do incremental changes, right? So like pick something you know you can conquer, and not because like just because we want to catch low hanging fruit. Like there's no other reason besides that. Things are already hard enough. Don't make it hard on yourself by being like, oh my God, like literally I die if I don't drink my morning cup of coffee, but I think coffee's bad for me, so I'm not gonna drink coffee. Like, don't do that to yourself. You're gonna find yourself in the closet sneaking drinking coffee, so can't nobody find you because now you got a binge. So I usually tell people, you know, like pick something that's easy, something you can manage. Even I know for a while there they had the campaigns for like the meatless Mondays, something like that, right? Like if you know you eat Twinkies every day. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's eating Twinkies every day. But if you're eating Twinkies every day, pick a day of the week that you're not going to eat the Twinkies. And then, you know, once you've mastered that, then try to, you know, continue to like decrease the days or whatever, right? That's not really what I did. Like I said, because I already was kind of going down that path anyway. And I was like, so to give you more insight on me personally, I have terrible allergies. Anybody that knows me knows I have terrible allergies. I got crazy food allergies that nobody else has. I should be on one of them shows, like, you know, weird medicine stuff. But I was watching the documentary, and then it just all clicked for me, like how much the dairy impacted, like me eating the dairy impacted like my sinuses and stuff. And that's where a lot of my allergies will like manifest. And I'm telling y'all, I had gotten so bad that I was like at the allergy doctor about to go get the shots. The allergy doctor told me I was allergic to everything. I was like, you don't need to test me for food allergies. So he only tested me for environmental. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, because if you ever get the test, they basically like draw a grid on your back and poke you with whatever, you know, thing that they're trying to see if you're allergic to. They actually like poke you with a needle. And I was looking because he had gave me a mirror to look, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, this one right here, I didn't have a reaction to. He was like, that was the control. It was basically water. So everything else I had an allergic reaction to. So having that, and like, you know, can't get away from outside. Indiana is also a place where a lot of different pollens and stuff like that are happening. So I wasn't getting away from that. And then realizing like that eating dairy was making it worse. When I stopped and noticed how different my life was, I was like, yo fam, this is crazy. So I pretty much went cold turkey for like 2 weeks. You know, they were talking about the 2-week challenge for a while there too. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about that recently, but the 2-week, you know, go plant-based challenge was a thing. And so I had done that and was like, fam, like, whoop, okay, because the weight be coming off where you want it to. You feel better, your skin clear up, your nose ain't running. You know, you got more energy. I'm like, oh, this is cute. So the 2 weeks I went and didn't eat no meat. And y'all, chicken, me and chicken. I actually thought when I was figuring it out, I was like, it's going to be the hardest for me to get rid of the dairy. Because, like, you know, I'm one of the people, I was putting cheese on things that didn't need cheese, honey. But actually, and ranch. Ooh, let me not forget about ranch. I was putting cheese and ranch on everything. And I thought it was going to be hardest for me to get rid of that. And it actually wasn't that hard for me to get rid of that. It was hardest for me to get rid of chicken. And I kid y'all not, I will still eat a piece of chicken. And I'm listen, okay? Because not too long ago, I ate a whole piece of chicken and my stomach was like, and I was like, I'm about to throw up. I had to get on here with y'all. And I was like, it was like 6 o'clock and I was like, I feel like I'm about to throw up. And I was like, you are not throwing up because you got to get on the thing and you can't be on there looking all crazy. So I was like, work it out. But yeah, so needless to say, my body's pretty much like, please don't eat no more chicken. But it's been, I would say probably like 7 years. It feels like it's been that long. It's somewhere between 5 and 7 years worth of, like, you know, watching the documentary and then like really making some super solid sound changes in just my eating, right? So that's kind of where it was at there. And I always tell people, like, it's crazy when you start moving things out of the way. So not to get too crazy, because we'll have a whole week where we talk about like plant-based living and stuff like that. So not to get super crazy down the rabbit hole with it, but there's a lot of toxic chemicals. And I don't mean toxic like it's going to kill you right away, but I mean toxic like your body has to process them out. There's nothing for your body to do with them. So, you know, you need to use your kidneys, your liver, things like that to actually process them out. So that takes energy out of your body. And so I know we had talked about last week, I think, when we were talking about stuff and I was talking about immune, like how you just have to be naturally healthy. And I was like, your immune system is crazy, because I was like, it's almost as important as your brain. And, you know, it's that highly sophisticated and functioning as your brain, right? Well, not as high, because your brain is miraculous. But, I mean, you know, it's up there. And I was talking about that and I was just saying, like, shoot. Y'all, it ain't often that I be on here losing my train of thought, and I did to just that. What was I talking about? There's so many different things to talk about. Your immune health in relationship to your self-care and wellness. So, your brain needs a lot of power. Your immune system and your digestive system and things like that require power, right? So, if you are constantly using all of your energy, I'm gonna put a disclaimer on this because it's not specifically how it works, but we're making a general statement right here, okay? All right, okay. So generally, think about your body having to constantly process other things. It's kind of like when we were talking about chronic stress, and I'm giving it to you in this way so it can be digestible. It's not necessarily how the physics or anatomy and physiology is not necessarily how it works that way, but I'm giving it to you so you can understand it this way. When you have a lot of other things going on, you're preoccupied. Right? And so when you take the energy that your body has and you preoccupy it to one thing or another, then inevitably the energy isn't going to be available for other things. Okay? So the brain and the heart, I mean, and your lungs, there are some systems that's really not going to let you like just be like, you can't do this. But I mean, things like your digestive system and other organs that, you know, regulate stuff, they do have switches that will decrease their ability to function if the energy is needed elsewhere. And so Instagram done paused on us. Okay, there we go. And so just in layman's, boil it all the way down, make it palatable and easy, you know, to digest. Think about it in that way. If you're spending a lot of time processing all these things out of your system because you're eating them, drinking them, and you shouldn't have them in there and they have to be processed by your body and discarded, that's taking energy away from the entire system, the entire ecosystem, right? So maybe they cutting the grass, but they ain't edging the grass. They ain't go back and edge the grass with the weed whacker because the energy needs to be somewhere else. I'm all over the place with the examples. Y'all understand what I'm talking about. Y'all been here for like 9 weeks. Y'all get it. So that I always say to people, like, you realize that those things start to clear. And I always tell people it's kind of like foggy. It's like a fogginess is kind of what I equate it to when you're inundated with a lot of things that you're having to process in not so much of a healthy way. When you kind of clear that fog, it allows you to see. And it may not be like 10 steps down the road. You just may be able to, now see the next thing in order. And so as I started to change my eating, it also made me more aware of other things that I was like, it's not acceptable for me to XYZ. And it did not happen at one time. It wasn't like I was, decided I was going to go those 2 weeks, and then the next thing I knew I was in therapy, and, I didn't reconcile all my relationships with all my people and all this. That's not how it happened. It took a while, and even still, like, I still come to a very clear, concise understanding of things that I did not know. And I'm 33, okay? Still coming to those understandings. And like I said, the journey's been somewhere between 5 and 7 years worth for me being plant-based and choosing to live in a more healthful way. And so it's really a process. I told y'all that whole story. Not to give you like the super specific details, even though I did give you some. Not to give you the super specific details and step by step of exactly what I did so that you can mirror my journey. But just to understand that you start where you at. And that's one of the big things here at Black Amethyst Naturals. Is to meet you where you are on your self-care and health and wellness journey. It's not, we really don't want to be preachy about it. I really don't want to make things feel like they're too far reaching for you to attain, or, they just so over your head that you can't understand. That's why I'll be breaking stuff down in weird analogies. So I can make sure that you guys, clearly can understand and relate to what I'm talking about. And so, that's it. That's really why I shared the story today. Was just to, be a little relatable to you guys, and for you guys to understand that who I am today is a process, it's a journey, and I'm going to continue to be on the process and the journey. I'm not stopping just because I got to a certain point. I'm going to continue to be on that. So I encourage you, start where you are, do what I said, not what I did. You can do the 2-week plant-based challenge if you want to, but I don't want you to get discouraged. If you've ever gone, this is another PSA, if you've ever gone somewhere and you have been directly hurt or negatively impacted by flavorless vegan food, I apologize for whoever cooked it. They did not call on the ancestors to season the food. If you've ever had my plant-based food, that's not the case. If anything, I didn't put too much seasoning in there because I like layers of flavor. But I apologize for them and they tasteless vegetables. But vegetables are delicious. There are so many more vegetables than there are meats and cheeses and stuff like that. There's so many more. So challenge yourself to find one that you like and incorporate it more. You don't have to necessarily kick out the meat, but at least try to incorporate more vegetables. All right, I ain't talking about it because I said that's for another week. We're gonna talk about plant-based, but if you know that I'll be always talking about plant-based because it changed my life. Anyway, okay, love, so that was it. It was fairly simple today. How long did I talk? I ain't talked that long. Fairly simple today. Just wanted to give you guys kind of a general spiel on what my self-care wellness journey looked like. All right? Okay. So, if you haven't clicked share, take your finger, hit the share button. If you haven't tagged your accountability partner, tag your accountability partner. If you haven't found an accountability partner yet, why not? Go find yourself an accountability partner so that you can make sure you got somebody to talk to. Okay. I'm done telling y'all what to do. That's not what I do on here. I try to give y'all, encouraging words and affirmations so you can live your best life. And I try not to get on here and be like, you need to do this. But that's one of the ones. Share it. Find an accountability partner so you can tag it when I ask you. And then, what was the other thing? Oh, do your in-person socialing with telling your auntie, your uncle, your mama, your daddy, your brother, your cousin, your sister, and all them. I didn't set it out of order today. Y'all okay. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, so y'all ready to meditate? All right, I'm ready. So we're going to be listening to Netflix. We're going to be listening to Netflix, Headspace Guide to Meditation. We are listening to a general meditation today. He don't have one about self-care and wellness. All of them about self-care and wellness. Look at me. What am I talking about? All of them about self-care and wellness. He doesn't have one that specifically says self-care and wellness in it. But y'all know we roll with the punches here. I just don't want y'all to be like hit with the okie doke and be like, She done got on here, and this whole time I've been waiting for somebody to talk about self-care wellness, and they ain't said nothing. So I always give y'all a disclaimer ahead of time. So before we start, I just want you to get comfortable. Sit down or lie down. Just make sure that your neck and your back are straight. You can bend your arms and your legs. Try to limit any distractions that are around you. If you cannot get rid of the distraction, it's okay. If you're meditating and you get distracted, just acknowledge the distraction and come back to the meditation. And then what am I also going to tell you? That you can't do it wrong. You're here, so you did everything you needed to do. I'm proud of you. If it feels awkward, it's okay. It may feel that way at first, but if you continue to do it, you'll get the benefits of the meditation, which is that it feels easier to meditate. And then, you'll get to a point where you feel like, ooh, I'm starting to feel stuff when I meditate. Not just comfortable, I start to feel other stuff. So, stick with it. You can't do it wrong. I'm glad you're here. All right, you ready to start? Here we go. Let's see if Andy's where I left him.
You ready?
He is.
Let's give it a go. We're gonna start.
Wrong way. Hold on.
Open.
Sorry.
And a nice soft focus, just aware of the space around you. And with that soft focus with the eyes, we're going to take a couple of big, deep breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe in, notice how the lungs fill with air, the body expands. As you exhale, just noticing how the body softens as you breathe out. Just one more time, breathing in through the nose. And this time, as you breathe out through the mouth, if you'd like to, just gently closing the eyes. And just take a moment before you do anything else, just to appreciate and enjoy that feeling of having stopped, of having nothing to do, nowhere to go. Notice the feeling of weight, the weight of the body pressing down against the seat or the floor beneath you. And take a moment as well just to notice your surroundings without looking around, just noticing the different sounds, not trying to shut them out, perhaps noticing any resistance towards them, just getting comfortable in that space. And use this opportunity as well just to notice how the body feels. Very often, we don't really take time to notice how the body feels. So is there a feeling of heaviness or lightness in the body? A sense of restlessness or stillness in the body? And as you bring your attention into the body, just starting to become more aware of that feeling, that movement of breath in the body. So you don't have to breathe in any special way. Just allow the body to do its own thing. Some people feel the movement of breath in their chest, their shoulders. For some it's in the diaphragm, and for some it's in the stomach. If you can't feel anything, any movement, just gently place your hand on your stomach so you can feel that rising and falling sensation. So just settling the mind. Again, thoughts are going to arise, the mind's going to wander. Just notice when the mind's wandered off. And just gently come back to the breath. To begin with, we're just noticing the breath in a very general way. Perhaps starting to notice whether the breaths are long or short, deep or shallow. Then we might find ourselves thinking either about the exercise or other things, just realizing when that's happened, letting those thoughts go and coming back to the breath again. And just to make it a little easier to focus on the breath. We're going to begin to count the breaths as they pass. So as you feel the rising sensation, counting 1. Falling sensation, 2. Just silently in the mind, then 3, then 4, just up to a count of 10. When you get to 10, you're going to stop and start again at 1. So remember, no effort required. The body knows how to breathe. Not getting involved in any thinking, just allowing the thoughts to come and go. And in those moments when you realize the mind's wandered off, just gently bringing the attention back to the breath again. So we'll just stay with that feeling and rising and falling sensation. Just for a few moments longer. And then just for a moment now, I'd like you to let go of any focus, even of the breath now. And for a few seconds, just allow your mind to do whatever it wants to do. So if it's been wanting to think, you can let it think now. Just allow the mind to do whatever it wants to do. And now just gently bringing the attention back to the body. Just coming back now to that feeling of weight, that feeling of contact against the seat or the floor beneath you. Perhaps noticing the sounds around you again. And whenever you feel ready, you can just gently open your eyes again. But before...
Oh, I cut out Andy off. All right, so how's everybody feeling? It's so funny because when Andy be like, count, I can't count. I can't count. I have to do in and out. I literally have to say in and out. I think I get bored with counting, and in and out keeps my brain more occupied or like more focused. So anyway, all right. So how's everybody feeling after meditation? I hope you're getting something from it. For all my folks who are on here every week, I appreciate you and I'm proud of you, and I'm glad that you keep coming back because, like I said, it's incremental, or exponential, incremental and exponential. It's going to be little pieces until you really start noticing some big differences, and the big differences will be even bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. All right. So we will be back tomorrow with definitions of self-care and definitions of wellness, and unpacking it and breaking it down a little bit further. Oh, y'all, what movie was that where he was like, break it down so it could forever be broke? Was it Love Jones? We're going to break it down so it could forever be broke. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we get in there with some good stuff so that you guys can have some good, solid understanding of what self-care and wellness looks like. And hopefully it'll inspire and encourage you to implement some more things, some outside of the box things that you haven't already been doing. So, all right, my loves, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Self-love is the best love. And I know last week I was like, I'm supposed to tell y'all something else, and I couldn't remember, and I remember what it was. And it was just to say that you are enough. So, all right, my loves, have a good evening. I'll see you back tomorrow at 7. Love you. Bye.